Family, this is going to be a little bit of a different type of video. And this is probably going to be my last video for the next couple of days. Just because I need to kind of gather myself and just reflect on some shit. I understand that these aren't the type of videos that some of you guys like to watch. Some of you guys subscribe to my channel because you like my thrifting vlogs or whatever, what have you. There will be some links in the description box. If this is not your type of video, then feel free to check out one of the links in the description box below. But as you can see from the title of this video, rest in peace, Mike Brown. More specifically, hashtag rest in peace, Mike Brown. Now, first I want to come and I want to say that I'm not one of those types of people who jump on every story that comes up in the news. It's just not what I do. It's not my type of, get down. It's just not. But the reason why this story touched me so much is because I have a nephew. I have a little brother, or I had a little brother. My little brother died, if any of you guys didn't know that. And I hope to one day have a son. And I know this type of stuff happens all the time. But the thing that they don't tell you about is sometimes that it's covered up to where we don't know about it, or the news doesn't talk about it as much, unless it becomes viral for whatever reason. But this particular story touched me so much because the young guy, his name is Mike Brown. He's from Missouri. He's 18 years old, and he was supposed to be starting college today, which is, from my understanding, the day that I'm posting this video, which is going to be August 11th. The story is that he was gunned down by a police officer, a white police officer, if that makes any difference. He was gunned down by a white police officer in Ferguson, Missouri, if I'm not mistaken, when he was leaving a convenience store. Now, as of right now, there are several different theories going on as to why this young man was shot. Some people are saying that he stole something from the convenience store and he was gunned down. And some other people said that he was fighting the police and he was gunned down. We all know that sometimes the truth can be stretched. But what I want to say is, this young man was unarmed. Number one. Unarmed. And he was shot 9 times. Now what I want to do, I want to read you something from an eyewitness. Now I don't know if this is a true eyewitness, but this person says that they were an eyewitness of this shooting. It says he got on his knees and said, "Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me." He shot him dead in the head, then walked up to his body and shot him 4 more times. Looked him in his eyes, paused for a minute, and shot him 4 more times. I'm going to try not to get emotional because, like I said, I have a nephew, and I hope to one day have a son. And the sad part about all of this is, when is all of this stuff going to end? It's horrible when you are afraid of the people who are supposed to be protecting you. Now, I'm going to tell you about Thick Chick Vlogs. I'm very timid when it comes to dealing with a police officer. I've never had a ticket, never had a traffic ticket. I try at all costs to avoid the police because I'm afraid I've never smoked a day in my life. I've never drank a day in my life. I don't even go to the club. It's just something about the police that frightens me. And I know a lot of people say that, yeah, a lot of this stuff can be avoided. But why do we have to deal with it in the beginning? For example, with Eric Garner in Staten Island, New York, there was no reason for that man to be put in the chokehold the way that he was put in the chokehold for selling a cigarette. It's not that serious. The police officers today, and I don't really want to make this and get it to the point where, you know, I'm getting harassed by police officers or anything like that, but I just want to speak on it. A lot of police officers abuse their power, okay? I even heard a couple of police officers say sometimes they get a kick out of when people get scared and all that type of stuff. They get a kick out of that. I don't know what it is about police officers being on these power trips, especially with people who doesn't necessarily pose any type of threat to them. With this particular situation, with this young man, Mike Brown, I'm not sure because I wasn't there. I'm not sure of the exact reason that these people felt the nerve or felt the need to shoot this young man. But from eyewitness accounts, several eyewitness accounts, they said this boy posed no threat to the police officers and that he was begging for his life, pretty much. And he was still shot. There are too many of these stories going around where people are mysteriously dying by the hand of police officers. Unjust. And most of them look like me. As they said, like I said, I'm not trying to make this into a race thing, but sometimes you have to use a little bit of common sense. Okay. I don't know what it is about people who look like me that pose such a threat to police officers. You know, like my grandmama used to say that some of the KKK members from when she was, you know, back in her day, traded in their white sheets for police uniforms. It's starting to ring true because there's too many people that look like me that are dying at the hands of police officers, unjust, and a lot of this stuff is being covered up. For example, the young man who was killed in the backseat of a police car with his hands, he was handcuffed behind his back. The young man was shot in the head. The police officer said that he shot himself. If you can, what I want you to do is get you a pair of handcuffs. It can be some fake ones. Put them behind your back. You know, get somebody to handcuff you behind your back. Get a toy gun. And see if you can shoot yourself in your temple, handcuffed behind your back. The shit is impossible. Even the thought, the shit is impossible. And this type of shit gets swept under the rug. Basically, what I want to say is, rest in peace to this young man, Mike Brown, from Ferguson, Missouri. But I promise you, this is not the first, and it definitely will not be the last situation that happens where someone, whether it be someone of color or someone of, someone who doesn't look like me, is gunned down unjustly by a police officer. And the thing is, by these people being police officers, they feel like they're above the law. Because they are the law, they feel like they're above it. Like they don't have to abide by it. That's just like police officers who get on the interstate and they're going 100 miles per hour off duty in their personal vehicle. And they get away with it. Why? Because they're police officers. If another police officer pulls a police officer over, they let that police, 9 times out of 10, they call it what they call a courtesy. They let that cop go. You don't, the police code of conduct is you don't ticket a fellow police officer. I've dated a couple of cops, so I kind of, just speaking with them, that's what they say. You don't ticket a fellow police officer. So they don't, they look out for each other. So rest in peace to Mike Brown. And I just want to say that it's so sad to be afraid of someone who is supposed to be protecting you. But what I want to say to the people who look like me, if you ever are approached by a police officer unjustly and he asks you to show your identification, or if he tells you to get on the ground and put your hands behind your back and you didn't do anything, or if you're pulled over for a traffic stop and you're told to get out of your car, put your hands on the hood, put your hands behind your back, and you didn't do anything, let me tell you what to do. Do what he tells you to do. And I'm explaining why. Because you don't want to end up like someone, like this young man, Mike Brown, who didn't, reading the eyewitness accounts, who didn't do anything, and you're gunned down by a police officer because he feels threatened because you look like me. How you fight these people is through the justice system. Write a letter, give it to your congressman, whoever you need to give it to, even though sometimes, again, it gets swept under the rug. But these police officers are not playing with us. They are not playing. They are killing our ass. And it's sad. So rest in peace to Mike Brown. Like I said, the thing that really hit my heart is this young man was supposed to start college today. And I can only be afraid for my nephew, for my future sons, for the little boys running around out here who look like me. Also, to the people of Ferguson, Missouri, we are not getting anywhere. We are not standing up for what is right by rioting in our community. You are not sending any kind of message to anyone by rioting in your community. I even heard about people who are breaking into hair stores, stealing hair. Please explain to me, what the fuck does that have to do with Mike Brown? What does that have to do with Eric Garner? What does that have to do with all of the hundreds and thousands of other black men or black women or whoever who are gunned down unjustly by police officers? How is you rioting in your community doing anything for the cause of Mike Brown being gunned down or Eric Garner being gunned down? Please explain to me how that is helping the cause. Now, I don't condone rioting by no means. But if that's some shit that you gonna do, riot somewhere where it would make sense. Okay. Riot somewhere where it would make sense. Not in your community. My thing is this. We need to do things like they did back in the Martin Luther King days. March. If you feel like you want to stand up for some, march. Go stand in front of the police station until they get this motherfucker off the street. The man who gunned this boy down in cold blood. Go protest in front of the police station until that shit happens. Now, from what I heard, 32 people have went to jail and 2 people have been injured. If you're going to stand up for something, do it in a way where you can be safe about it. Because like I said, these people aren't giving no kind of fucks. These police officers are giving no kind of fucks when it comes to shooting our asses. They will shoot you and ask questions later. That's just like a video I saw of this young lady who got arrested at a Walmart because they said the lady was stealing Lunchables. And she looked like me. They said she was stealing Lunchables. They had 3 men that were holding her up against a wall because they said she stole some Lunchables. Until the police officers got there. The lady kept telling them that she had her receipt in her pocket. They would not let her go in her pocket to get the receipt or anything of the sort. The police came. Well, her boyfriend came first because she told someone to go get her boyfriend. Her boyfriend came, and naturally he was trying to get these 3 random guys off his girlfriend. You know, you holding my girlfriend up against the wall, even if she did steal some goddamn Lunchables. Why you got her pinned up against the wall? So naturally, they restrained him. He didn't touch them or anything. The police came. She kept telling them, I have my receipt in my pocket. They handcuffed her, took her to jail. Didn't even let her go in her pocket. Didn't even ask no question. Just handcuffed the lady and took her to jail. And guess what they did? Her boyfriend didn't do a damn thing but walk up and ask them what was going on. He didn't touch anybody. He didn't even go in the damn store. But guess what they did? Because he looked like me. They put him in handcuffs and put him in the back of the car. And whether they took him to jail or not, I don't know. They probably just restrained him. But because he looked like me and because he was raising his voice, he had to get in the back of the car. So black people, we need to make some type of stand. What type of stand? I don't know. I don't know what we can do because we have to have police officers. And I have a feeling that this is going to always go on as long as we live. But it has to be something done about these type of situations. And there's no reason that simply because I look like this, I should be afraid of someone who is supposed to be protecting me. So rest in peace, Mike Brown. Rest in peace, Eric Garner. And rest in peace to all the other black men who were gunned down unjustly by a police officer or anybody of that sort. Also, as far as, you know, I know a lot of people want to speak on black crime. That's a whole nother video to be made. But I wanted to come and speak on this situation here specifically because something has to be done about the people who are protecting us first. If we have all this black on black crime, we got to think about, okay, we got to have people who are protecting us against the black on black crime. And if these people are unjustly killing us for no reason, they're not necessarily, they automatically judging us based because we look like this. This video is damn near 20 minutes long. Like I said, it just touched me here because, like I said, I have a little brother, I have a nephew, and I hope to one day have a son. And this unjust killing, it just got to stop. Because, again, there's no reason that I should be afraid of someone who's supposed to be protecting me. Until the next time, family. Peace.